This Week in Radio Tech, episode 279 is brought to you by Lavo and the Crystal Clear Virtual Radio Console. Crystal Clear is the console with a multi-touch touchscreen interface. By the ZipStream R2 hardware audio processor and stream encoder. Stream like you mean it. And by the Axia Radius AOIP audio console. Standalone mixing and easy IP connections to other consoles. This is it, the live broadcast a block away from the Empire State Building, where we have a terrific view of the light show. We're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Master FM antenna operation, the first of its kind, allowing a dozen FM transmitters to use the same transmitting antenna. Tom Sullivan, David Layer, David Bialik, and Scott and Lisa Fybush join Chris Tobin and me. Hey, welcome into This Week in Radio Tech. It's Kirk Harnack here along with Chris Tobin, the best-dressed engineer in radio. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Kirk. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. You don't have to worry about the microphone.
We're in a little bit...
Two microphones, very confined space, even though it's a rooftop that's open.
We're in New York, and I'm excited to be here. We're here for a special event. So obviously this is, as they say in network television, a very special TWiRT.
It's a very special event.
Yeah.
We're at the Monarch Rooftop Club.
Yeah.
It's a very nice place. The reason we're here is primarily to see a visual spectacular event that's taking place on top of a building many of you may not have heard of, but we'll give it a try anyway.
Yeah.
Empire State Building. It's an anniversary event. For those of you who are in the business, you will appreciate this. It's the master antenna system, the first of its kind in 1965 that went up on top of the building, and this is the 50th year. So the AES and SBE have worked with the Empire State Trust to light the building. And the building lights will flash with the music from CBS FM's station.
Yeah.
And the song is FM No Static at All.
Yeah.
Quite appropriate, I would say.
We're going to hang on TWiRT through the top of the hour where they're going to do all that.
Yes.
Let me show you where we are here. Give you a little sense of perspective.
As we pan.
Point the camera up. There is the majestic Empire State Building.
And the colors will be blue and white. The lights right now are blue.
Okay.
The sun is setting to the west. As you can see the cloud cover, it's a nice, crimson color with white skies and blue.
Beautiful.
It's a beautiful night for a visual event.
I tell you what, we're going to pan around here and let the folks see where we are. We are in... What part of town are we in? Would you describe?
This is Midtown.
Okay.
We're in the center of Midtown, which is Herald Square. So Herald Square means Macy's. That's right. The Macy's you see, Thanksgiving Day Parade. That's the sign you see in the distance.
And there's some typical New York traffic down there.
Yes, standard traffic at this time of day.
Yeah. Let's see, if we point the camera around this way, we're looking over at 4 Times Square.
4 Times Square, the Condé Nast Building, H&M for those of you who travel along the highways. And that 4 Times Square master antenna system is also the backup to many broadcasters here that use the Empire State Building as a primary location.
I got to be on that building one day. They were shooting some building exteriors for Spider-Man 3.
Yes. Matter of fact, there have been several film shoots up there for many movies.
Okay.
I've walked in on a couple of them.
Wow. Well, let's get the camera back around here. I know you don't want to see us, but we'll put it on us for just a minute. So, this is where TWiRT is coming from. The rooftop of the Monarch at the Monarch Lounge and Bar. We're going to be interviewing people who have had something to do with this master antenna system. We're going to try to get Tom Silliman, who's here. We're going to try to get him on the show. David Bialik is here as well as other people who use and manage the master antenna system there at the 50th anniversary. But first, we're going to do a sponsor, and then we've got a video from this morning's press conference featuring Broadway Bill Lee.
Broadway Bill Lee, for those of you who remember him. CBS FM afternoon jock, great guy.
Yeah.
A lot of fun, and it's a great event today. The presser was really good.
Yeah, it was exciting. So let me tell you about our first sponsor, Lavo. These guys make audio consoles, and now they make audio over IP consoles. Lavo, L-A-W-O. They make a couple of consoles for us in radio, and one of those consoles is the Crystal Clear. Now, you know we've been talking about this console for a while. It's growing by leaps and bounds throughout the industry. And if you will go to that website that we were just showing on the screen there, that shows the Crystal Clear console, you can see a video in the upper right-hand corner where Mike Dosh explains all about the Lavo Crystal Clear console. So I can tell you a little bit about it. It's the typical console design nowadays where you have a surface and then you have an engine. Now the engine part sits in a rack anywhere you like, anywhere in your building, but probably somewhere within a few feet. But it doesn't matter. It can be anywhere on the network. And your audio inputs and outputs go to that engine. It's a one rack unit box. It has available dual redundant power supplies. It has mic inputs, line level inputs and outputs. It has AES inputs and outputs. And it's got a network jack. And that network jack, this is key, it speaks Ravenna. It also speaks the new standard AES 67. So it will talk to, audio over IP, it will talk to devices from other manufacturers. And so you can put this on the network, bring in remote broadcasts from, say, codecs, or from audio interfaces like, a product from, say, Axia. The Axia X node will speak AES 67. Any product that speaks the AES 67 protocol and is on that network, the Ravenna, the console from Lavo can pick that up and put it on a fader and put it on the air. It's that simple. All of the mixing is done inside this one rack unit box. Special effects, EQ, compression, mic effects, mic leveling, all that's done in this box. Now, what about the console itself? What about the thing that you touch as a disc jockey? Well, it can hang on the network anywhere that you want it to. So put it on the same IP network, and it is actually a computer with a touch screen in front of it. It's a multi-touch touchscreen, so you can touch 2 or 3 or 4 faders. It's actually a 10-touch touchscreen. So you can touch faders on it, move things up and down, work it just like you're used to working an audio console. You want to move 2 faders up and down at the same time, slap a few faders down at the same time to put your mic up. You can do that. The other cool thing is because the console exists in software, it's contextual. And that means you push a button on this virtual console, the crystal clear console, and the options that pop up on the screen, they're contextual to what you want to do right then. So it's got features like auto mic leveling. You get a loud and boisterous talent in there. Touch the auto level, and it sets his mic level just right. You don't have to run the fader down low, or for quiet people, push it up high. You just touch the auto level, and it sets that gain level for that particular talent. Check it out if you would on the web at lawo.com. Look for radio products and look for the crystal clear console. I think you're going to like it. I think it's a good idea to put all your control onto a touchscreen. All right, Kirk Harnack back here with Chris Tobin. Now, Chris, we talked about this. This. By the way, I've never gotten to use the word presser before. That's kind of a neat word. Has it been around a while?
It's been around a while, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, press conference.
It's because I've worked in newsrooms all my life, so it just comes out naturally.
Gotcha. So they've called it that in the biz for a while.
Yes.
So they had a press conference this morning at the Empire State Building. We're going to take you to that right now. Let's watch.
Good morning, everyone. I'm John Kessler, President and Chief Operating Officer of Empire State Realty Trust. I would like to welcome you all to our tower lighting ceremony in honor of the 139th International Audio Engineering Society Convention and the 50th anniversary of the Master FM antenna. Founded in 1948, the Audio Engineering Society has grown to become an international organization that unites audio engineers, creative artists, scientists, and students worldwide by promoting advances in audio and disseminating new knowledge and research. And the Empire State Building is proud to be the home of one such advancement, the Alfred antenna. The Master FM antenna was the first constructed and used 50 years ago at the top of our spire, and it remains in use today as a backup. The invention of the combined master antenna system allowed multiple radio stations to broadcast from a single antenna, saving space and cost, and marking a revolution in FM broadcast technology. So tonight, the Empire State Building will shine blue and white as a reminder of one of the most significant milestones in broadcasting history, and to celebrate another year of the Audio Engineering Society's continuous effort to revolutionize the broadcasting industry. We are delighted to have CBS radio personality Broadway Bill Lee here with us to light the Empire State Building. But first, I would like to welcome Andres Majo, President of the Audio Engineering Society, John Crivet, incoming President of the Audio Engineering Society, and David Bialik, co-chair of the Audio Engineering Society's Broadcast and Transmission Technical Committee and chair of broadcast and streaming sessions at the Audio Engineering Society Convention, to come up to the podium and say a few words. Gentlemen.
I just want to say thank you to the Empire State Building for making this event possible. And also, thank you to all the engineers that have worked on the Empire State Building's Alfred antenna and the current master. And thank you to all broadcast engineers for making FM a wonderful medium for the masses. And now I would like to introduce President of the Audio Engineering Society, Andres Mayo.
Thank you, David. In December 9th, 1965, the Alfred master antenna was built on the top of this iconic building. And there was a revolution because for the first time, the top FM stations were able to share the cost and the space of using a single antenna. We are here to celebrate the 50th anniversary of that revolution. Congratulations, and it's my pleasure to introduce President-elect of the AES, Mr. John Crivet.
Thank you very much, and a special thanks to the Empire State Building and to CBS and the staffs at both organizations, and to David Bialik for really bringing the Audio Engineering Society into this and having a great vision to celebrate this. And I would just merely invite you to join us at the Audio Engineering Society convention, which is happening today through Sunday at the Javits Center. And we are going strong, and we're excited to be part of this. So thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. Now I'd like to invite Broadway Bill to say a few words.
Good morning. Thank you. Just so there's no confusion, I'm the disc jockey here. Okay? It is really an honor to be part of this celebration. 50 years. Do you know there are 22 television and radio stations that broadcast out of one single spire, an antenna on top of this building? That's pretty amazing and really incredible. And out of those 22 television and radio stations, I'm really kind of proud and pleased that CBS FM is still the only station with the same call letters that were assigned when the antenna went into service 50 years ago. And as a representative of CBS FM, on behalf of everyone at my radio station and the CBS Radio Corporation, I want to say thank you for having us. Thank you to AES for helping us be part of this. And thank you to the Empire State Building. It's just an awesome pleasure, honor, and a great signal to be part of. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. On behalf of Empire State Realty Trust, I'd like to present you with this gift, a statue of our iconic building, as a reminder of the day that you lit the iconic Empire State Building. Thank you very much. Thank you. So now I'd like to, now if I may, I can ask you guys to approach the switch. We're going to have our, actually throw the lights. So I'm going to count. Now on the count of 3, gentlemen, I'll ask you to throw the switch. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, it's Kirk Harnack, live at the Monarch Bar and Lounge here in Manhattan, in New York City. And we were just watching a press conference from this morning from the Empire State Building. Now, behind me is the Empire State Building. There you go. And it's twilight here in Manhattan. And there you can see it, the Empire State Building, looking so majestic. What we're going to be doing here is in just a few minutes, actually at 35 minutes from now, they're going to be playing a song on WCBS FM. And that song is going to be Steely Dan's FM No Static at All. And the lights on the building are supposed to dance along with taking a group picture here, along with that. So that's part of the 50th anniversary celebration of the Master FM antenna system. All right, here on the Rooftop Lounge, they're taking a beautiful big picture of everybody, almost everybody. Let's see if we can get the camera down here. There we go. Let me see if I can, we're gonna have a flash, hang on. Sorry, had to go be in the picture. You know, duty calls and all that. Hang on, we're gonna be right with you. Hang on a second. All right, so it's Kirk Harnack and Chris Tobin here. Chris is trying to get us an interview with probably Tom Silliman, who's one of the engineers who's designed so much of what's on the Empire State Building now. In fact, Tom is the guy who you may have seen before in some famous pictures from the New York Times, where the photographer is looking down from the beacon level, looking down on Tom Silliman doing maintenance work on the new Master FM antenna. So we hope to be talking to him shortly. Also, David Bialik should be along here very shortly. Chris Tobin's out there gathering. Yeah. Okay, good. Tom's on his way over. Good deal. All right. Hey, live television, nothing like it. Thanks for bearing with us here. All right, there's a microphone.
Come on, step up. Don't be bashful. You've hung from high places. You know the routine.
Yeah.
It's good to see you.
So, hey, I'm going to move out of the way. You guys come on in a little bit, right in the camera view there. Good. We have some light now. Thank you. So important. Chris, take it away with Tom Silliman here.
All right. Here we are with TWiRT. We have Tom Silliman of ERI, antenna systems, and many other things that you may be familiar with. Our audience is well aware of. Tom has done a lot of work on top of the Empire State Building, and there are many pictures of him hanging from the top of the spire, just doing a little bit of work from time to time. Nice clear days, but sometimes on a few of the overnights I remember in the early days of the Master antenna, they were not very clear, but it was fun. So if I may, Tom, the Alfred antenna system, your antenna system that's on top of the Empire State Building right now, if you could, the audience is a combination of engineers, both studio and RF. What are the challenges? I know you love the climb, and your company is well known for products that are consistently 100% everywhere you go. So what were the challenges for a building like this here in New York City?
Well, the biggest challenge with the Empire State Building is the moving of the material. So when we did the FM Master, there was 8 elements, 2 levels. We couldn't get the elements out through the window. So what I did is I set up a workshop on the Alfred ice shield with no safety rail. And then I had them bring me the elements one at a time. I disassembled them and labeled them and reassembled them on the ice shield. And then we took them up with ropes. And there's some pictures of those going up, floating around somewhere. But it was a lot of fun. And the other difficult thing was we had to redo the Univision feed line and the waveguide feed line and the 9-inch feed line to clear the FM antenna. And Ed Carter and I did the waveguide, and Joe Giardino's team and I did the 9-inch line. Then we put the ice shield up. Then it went pretty well.
Excellent. And Joe Giardino's team is the DSIRF engineering group. Now, I was told, and I couldn't confirm it, so I'm going to ask you straightforward. Did you or someone within your organization, maybe it was you, Andrew Alfred, in the history of the Alfred's engineering company, were you involved in your youth, or somebody within ERI, involved in the early days with Alfred?
Oh, yeah. And my father graduated from the University of Minnesota. And during World War II, Andy Alfred was head of the radio research labs at Harvard. And my father was an engineer that worked with him along with Caraway. Caraway started ERI during the war so that they would have a place in the Midwest to test antennas. The problem they had was there were so many submarines out east that the Germans were spying on us, but the Germans couldn't get up the Ohio River because the draft was only 8 feet. So they went to Evansville. So Caraway said, I'll go to Evansville, start a company. So my father would fly back and forth in a 2-engine plane with Charlie Banks, who was a Navy pilot. He became a lifelong friend of my father's. And then after the war, Alfred always hired Robert Silliman, my father, to work with Fred Abel to do all the proofs. So my dad did every proof on the Empire State Building. And then later on, my father and I did all the proofs with Fred Abel on the Hancock Building in Chicago.
Nice, nice. See, I knew there was something to it. See, this is why over the years of my career, and I'm young at this, ERI antennas, the rototiller specifically, I have worked at many a radio station where I've had consultants come in to do delay tests on the antenna for FMX and other things. And when they see the rototiller, they go, oh, I know exactly what we should expect for a group delay. I said, really? They'll take out a napkin, handwrite it. There was a gentleman, I can't think of his name, he used to work at RCA. He was an engineering... Yes. Wrote down a number on a napkin before he brought out the network analyzer and goes, here's what I think is going to happen. So through our confidential transmitter, through our ERI rototiller, we do the group delay measurements for some other tests we're doing. And sure enough, the number is within 0.5%. And over the years, it's always been that case. I kid you not, I've never had an issue when it came to ERI products. So I just want to say thank you. It's a pleasure to actually have you. And I have to say that over the years when I've worked at Empire with the radio broadcasters I've been with, watching your crew and the way they just move around and know exactly what has to go in place, it's 1,000 feet above the city.
The advantage I had with my crew is that I've been a qualified climber now for 45 years. And my crews, whether both electricians and the ironworkers, I'm hands-on. So even though I'm not union, they let me work with them and let me hold tools and do whatever. They always had. Then on 4 Times Square, when we did that tower, when I showed up with my belt, the steward pulled me aside and said, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to climb with your guys. He said, well, aren't you a little old? And I said, yeah. And I said, tell you what, let me climb with your guys 1 week. If you tell me to get off the tower, belt goes home. He says, deal. So I went to him a week later, and he goes, damn. I said, my guys told me if they take you off the tower, they're going to walk. Because if that damn engineer's up there with us, we're probably not going to die. So I've climbed with these union guys in New York for many, many years.
Oh, yeah. So that's a testament to ERI, the engineering and the sciences behind what you've done, and everything about the product line. And at 4 Times Square, John Lyons is the broadcast manager there for the Durst organization, just to give him credit. And that, too, is a spectacular installation, unbelievable work. But then again, it goes without saying, ERI consistently, I've worked on many projects where somebody goes, well, we're going to get this ERI antenna thing. Do you think it's going to work? I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah, whatever graph you got for the Smith chart, you're fine. Trust me, it'll be where it should be. And they're like, okay, and I'm honest. I'm serious. Everywhere I've worked, I've been in the business 30 years, and I've enjoyed it, and I've done a lot of RF work, and ERI products consistently spot on where they have to be. And when there's been an emergency, ERI has come through and made things happen the right way.
Yeah, we definitely go in the field and work on our products. And I was lucky when I went to college in the 60s. I'd use the slide rule and Smith chart and instruments. So these kids that come out today, if it says 47.72568, blah blah blah, that's what it is. But in my day, you had to calculate your errors, and I think we had an advantage because we had to do everything by hand. And that's the way I still do it. My engineers always tell me, they say, "How do you do that in your head?" And I say, "Well, that's the way we did it."
Yeah, absolutely. I will say that 1 or 2 times up at Empire, the combiner room, there have been a few occasions where things have been an issue, and I always said 50J0 is 50J0. Hello? What are we all getting worried about? And you're right. Years of experience, you sort of know when not to say anything other than it's 50J0. You'll be fine. So, and I have to appreciate it. Just really, thank you very much. I know it's a very busy night for you, so I'll let you be on your way.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Tom. It's an absolute pleasure. Oh, look at that. Excellent. LED technology at its best.
Yeah, now we see somebody to hold it.
Oh, no issues. Hey, it's a nighttime in New York City.
There we go. Now we see
You
somebody
want
to
to
hold
step over here? I'll hold it.
Oh,
Why don't you step over here? We could do it this
sure,
way.
okay.
This is what's known as improvisational radio.
Yeah.
Those of you in the business who have been around a short time will not experience this yet, but sometime in your career you will. And you just sort of have to roll with the environment. Nothing is predictable. As Tom pointed out, you can always say it goes out to 6. Yes.
You know,
Jackie Gleason. Oh, I like that.
I like to think we thought of everything, but there's one thing we forgot.
Yes, I know. That's okay.
David, come on in.
We have David Bialik coming up to talk to us.
No, we forgot about some light.
I'll step out of the camera and let you guys talk.
I thought that the bright lights of New York City would take care of us.
Well, we're here for a light show, Kirk.
There's the camera.
We're here for a light show.
I know. I thought that would light us up, but no, we need more light than that.
So did you catch any sessions at the convention today?
No, I haven't been to the convention today.
We had a session on streaming loudness.
Oh.
You should have been there. And we also had one on streaming from the cloud.
Yep.
You should have been there.
I know.
And we had one about building studio facilities, and you should have been there.
I was at the press conference, the one that we ran on the show.
Yes. And we were there.
Oh, yeah, we were.
And tomorrow, we got some great sessions, starting in the morning with Steve Lampin talking about audio over IP.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a great day. And then we have sometime in the day, don't ask me when, I don't know my schedule right now, how they do the production on the Prairie Home Companion. That's going to be amazing.
Is that one of the tech tours?
No,
Or is
that's
that a
an actual session.
Okay.
Because if they did a tour, they'd have to go to Minnesota.
Hey, I want to talk about Steve Lampin. Here, step this way. So this way. There we go. There's the camera. I know that doesn't have a red light on it. So Steve Lampin. I always thought that when audio over IP came out, that Steve would have a lot less wire to sell.
Oh no, because he has to get the right wire.
Yes.
The right wire, the right conductors, the right gauge. And let's face it, Belton does a lot more than just wire nowadays.
Fiber.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I think they even have a switch division, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, now, tell us, we've given a little preview about what's going to happen at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So, what's going to happen up there?
Okay, you see that building up there?
I guess we can point the camera up there.
Sorry, guys, he's a radio guy.
I can't work the camera. All right, tell us about it.
Okay, that building right now is in AES blue and white. At 7 o'clock, when CBS plays, they're going to have a message from Scott Shannon talking about the antenna and the AES, and then it's going to go into Steely Dan's FM, and the lights are going to be synchronized to the music. And then after that, we're going to go back to blue and white, and everybody's going to go up to the 67th floor, and we're going to have a nice discussion with the experts about the master antenna.
Okay. Cool. I can't wait. How does the lighting actually get, where's it controlled?
Well, those lights are LED lights.
All the blue lights we see up there?
All the lights at the top of the tower are LED now.
Okay, now I was up there today. The ring of white lights around, yes. I saw those.
Yes, that's where the Alfred antenna is.
Yes. Okay.
And I was very proud that you didn't fall off.
Me too. So they're all LED lights. And how are they controlled?
I have no idea. I'm a radio man. But I know nothing about lights.
But somehow they can make them shake and jive.
Mark Brickman is a lighting designer, and he flew in to, he is the exclusive lighting designer for the Empire State Building. He flew in and designed the lights for us.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. Okay. You can make things happen, can't you?
I try. Except I can't get my kids to do their homework.
I know, you go home and like you're powerless.
It's kryptonite.
Hey, do you think we can get David Laird to come talk to us?
Well, hey, we got David Laird, and we got Steve Schultes from
yeah, there's Steve. Yeah.
Hey, you guys are on.
Hey, come on in, guys. This is a pleasure. Hi, David.
Hi, nice to see
I
you.
want to introduce you to our audience. This
Hi.
is David Layer from NAB.
Hello, everybody.
We have your own mic you can hold.
Wow,
for us.
thanks.
For yourself.
Where's it go? There's the camera.
Yeah, I know it's hard to see. So
it's blue like the building.
You know what? Chris Tobin and I.
Did you plan that?
We planned the broadcast out. We forgot about lighting. Oh my!
Well,
it gets dark in New York City.
It looks like you found something here.
Yeah, we did. So, David, you're with NAB. Tell us what you do there.
I'm the Senior Director of Advanced Engineering in the Technology Department. And these days, mostly what I'm doing is working on labs projects. We have an effort called NAB Labs.
Okay, yeah.
Where we're doing, we're doing a lot of different things. We're investing in new technologies. We're testing things. I spent a lot of time out in the field testing AM digital radio over the last couple of years. We have a new radio lab, which we set up for AM to do all digital tests, and now we're setting it up to do FM as well. And then I travel a lot. I was just speaking to the Kansas Association of Broadcasters last week. This week here I'm going to be talking at AES tomorrow. Next week I'm going to the World DAB General Assembly to make a presentation on behalf of the North American Broadcasters Association. So this is a busy time of year for us.
Can you comment? We have all this talk about digital, and here in the U.S. we have HD radio. In some places they have DRM, in some places DAB. Do you have any comment about where you see all that going? And do you see any convergence in the world?
No, absolutely not. I mean, and I don't know that there has to be. Where there has been convergence is in the chipset space. Because the companies that make chips for radios, they've embraced all of these technologies, and my understanding is most of the chipsets now support them all. So a manufacturer buys a chipset, and then they decide whether they're going to do DAB or HD radio or DRM, and then they design the receiver accordingly.
Wow.
But I don't think that, the Europeans aren't going to start using HD radio, and we're not going to start using DAB. I don't see that happening.
Right. Understood.
Because each of these technologies works well, I think, where it's being used.
Yeah, and part of that has to do, I guess, with the political and business setup of broadcasting in a given area.
Sure. I mean, and it's been decades in the making, too. I mean, HD radio was authorized in the U.S. in 2002. So, a little over a decade now.
If you haven't already said it, what are you excited about that's on your horizon? For the next year, 2, 5 years or so? What are you kind of thinking about when you go to sleep at night about what broadcasters will be doing?
I like to, one of the cool things about my job is working with the U.S. broadcast industry and helping them embrace technology. Right now, I guess one of the exciting things that I've seen is the adoption of FM chips in smartphones. Because everybody's got a smartphone. If we looked around this patio here, and said, hold up your smartphone, everybody would.
Yeah.
And what Emmis and Jeff Smullian and Paul Brenner have been doing to get the carriers to embrace FM radio in those devices has been fantastic.
Let me ask you, is the FM radio integration in smartphones in places like the U.S., is that anything fundamentally different than, say, in India, where I'm told there's an FM chip in almost every phone, but not are all smartphones. A lot of them are feature phones with FM chips.
Well, my understanding is India is an example of a country where I think just about every phone had FM radio in it. A couple of years ago. I've lost touch a little bit. I'm not exactly sure where they are right now. But the adoption rate here in the U.S. is really climbing.
Okay.
And it's pretty phenomenal. I would refer, your viewers / listeners to our nablabs.org website.
Okay.
We have some interesting statistics on the adoption of FM radio and smartphones here in the U.S. And it's growing dramatically, and it's all because of Next Radio and the efforts of Emmis and Paul Brenner.
I'd love to do an upcoming TWiRT show on the specifics of what phones have it, what phones who can you complain to at your carrier.
Well, that's all on our website.
Good.
That's another thing that we've set up with Emmis is freeradioonmyphone.org, I think it
Oh, okay.
is. Yeah,
Well,
so-
we'll explore that and do a show about it.
Yeah.
I'd be excited to. David, thanks so much for joining us.
It's good to see you. We're almost there, huh?
What time is it? Quarter till?
T-minus 15.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Thanks, David. Hey, our TWiRT show, This Week in Radio Tech, is brought to you in part by the folks at Telos and the Zipstream R2. Now, I got to tell you about this. This is actually newly introduced, the Zipstream R2, newly introduced at the IBC show in Europe a couple of months ago. And what the Zipstream R2 is a one rack unit box that can ingest 8 programs of audio. So 8 radio stations, or 4 radio stations, maybe each of them has an HD2 that runs. Point is, 8 programs can come in. And from that, every single one of those gets audio processed and can then be put out as streams in one or numerous different formats. So if you want to let's take an example, 5 radio stations in your facility, and you want to stream each of them in MP3 at some bit rate and AAC at some bit rate, and maybe HEAAC V2 at some bit rate, you can do that. You can do that with the Zipstream R2. If you want to also stream those stations using a newer streaming technology like Smooth Stream from Microsoft or Apple's HLS streaming, you can do that. It's built in. I've been playing with Apple's HLS streaming myself. In fact, we're going to be doing a webinar about that with the folks at Wowza in just a couple of weeks from now, in fact. Watch TWiRT, This Week in Radio Tech, will tell you about that webinar coming up. Or, if you're in touch with Telos from any of their newsletters and things like that, watch those. So you can sign up for a free webinar that Wowza is doing the webinar. I'll be a guest speaker on that webinar, and we'll actually set up our software to let you do streaming through Wowza, Apple HLS, and then you can be on iTunes Radio. You can be listed on iTunes Radio and click and have that enormous audience of people who are on iTunes Radio. You can have them available as potential listeners to your stream. So the Zipstream R2, back to that, one rack unit. It's a box that has 8 AES inputs or live wire input. And you can take this audio, as I said, process it and make streams with it, several streams per audio input. And you can buy the Zipstream R2. And you can start out at a small size with a couple of streams and then add streams to that if you want. Check it out if you would on the Telos website. Go to telosalliance.com and look for Zipstream and look for this appliance, the Zipstream R2. Now, hey, if appliance isn't for you, if you'd rather just, you have an existing PC, you'd rather use its audio input card, or maybe it's got live wire already on that, then you can use software like the Zipstream X2 software. But check it all out, if you would, at the Telos Alliance website. I'm doing this at all my radio stations. We're all using Zipstream X2, and if I had the rack space, we'd use the Zipstream R2. All right, we're here live on the Mont. Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
It's Lisa Fybush. Come on in, Lisa.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
You too?
Oh, I think you get your own microphone.
Oh, good. I get my own microphone.
That way we don't get cooties, from sharing
Right,
microphone.
right.
So, Lisa, you've got something with you that you want to show us.
Yes, I do. This is what was flashing in the background. It is the 2016 Tower Site Calendar, which was featured last week on This Week in Radio Tech.
I have no idea. Is that glaring or is it okay? Yeah, it looks
it's
pretty good.
Yeah, it is still shrink wrap, but that's surprisingly not glaring, which is good.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
That's our lighting director over there, Chris.
Hi. And we actually have copies that we can sell at AES for anybody interested.
I have a copy in my hotel room. Can I get it autographed?
I think you could get an autograph.
I mean, I'll bring it to AES.
Sure.
Tomorrow or Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Scott will sign them. Yes, if you buy them, Scott will sign them tonight.
Good deal.
You may even personalize them.
Good deal.
Yes.
Speaking of Scott, is that him over there?
Yes, it is.
I'm not trying to push you out of the way or anything.
Oh, that's all right.
Lisa Fybush, Fybush.com.
Yes.
And Scott is on his way over here. Here, Scott, I'll hand that to you. I don't want to steal it or anything.
Right.
Lisa can stand there and hold it.
Yeah, I'll stand here like this.
Here, let me scoot over. Is our camera shot wide enough there? So what's going to happen here at 7 o'clock?
Tower's going to be lit up, but Scott is the one who coordinated it, so he should talk about it.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I just came to see the light show.
You know, after we're done here at this little soiree, that's when your job starts even more. Yeah.
This is the big night here. I don't want to take credit for doing the lighting. That was Shane and Peggy at Empire and everybody over at CBS FM. But precisely at 7, Tower is going to be lit up in sync with Steely Dan FM. And it's going to be playing on 101.1 CBS FM, broadcasting ironically not from the master antenna on the tower, but from the mini master. But hey.
Unfortunately, just the recording, not the band.
Yeah.
Although we think, Scott and I have been talking, we're positive that Walter Becker is a closet radio geek. We think he would be into it. Yeah.
Well, Fagan, too. You listen to the album The Night Fly.
That's true.
Clearly.
Yeah, so I'm actually very surprised that they didn't just come and say, oh, yeah, we want to do that, please.
That would have been fun.
Yeah.
So that's going to play out. The tower's going to stay lit in AES blue and white all night long, or at least until the wee hours of the morning. And
or if we get a storm?
I don't know about that.
It's staying blue and white until the lighting guy says, that's it, I'm going home.
Exactly. Time to flip the switch. And then we head up, some of us, to Empire, and we're going to have a presentation with a whole bunch of very knowledgeable folks, including Tom Silliman, who's up there all the time, climbing the tower, changing out the light bulbs, repairing his antenna up there. Barb Tarcio and Herb Squire, who worked with the antenna over the years, they're going to be up there with us. Andy Lancet from WNYC provided some great material from their archives that we're going to have with us. It's going to be a fun presentation.
Now, I wish we could invite everybody, but unfortunately it's a small conference room.
Ticketed attendees only. It seats about 70 people. I understand there's been a waiting list already for a while. So there will be a video. I'm not sure exactly where or when it's going to show up. There is going to be a video.
Good deal. Well, I'll be there too.
Yes, I know.
I'm bringing my camera. Now, we won't be live on TWiRT with it, but I'll try to provide some snippets.
It could be, if you need a week off from TWiRT at some point, make it a special TWiRT edition.
Sure.
TWiRT holiday special.
Good deal. It's great talking to you. Thank you for coordinating this and for your role in moderating the next event.
Well, thanks. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm already trying to figure out what the next anniversary up here is, and I think I know what it is.
What?
You ready for this?
Okay.
July 1st of 2016 will be the 75th anniversary of commercial television broadcasting.
Wow.
From the Empire State Building.
Aha.
NBC, WNBT was up there on July 1st in 1941, and they are still up there now.
If TWiRT does something with that, we're going to have to up our game on the video.
Indeed. Yes. Indeed. I got a new camera at home, at least. I have an HD now. So
yeah.
We got that going for us.
For that, they'll have to try to project like a TV image on the side of the building. That just light it up.
Ah, yeah.
To like a whole montage of TV history up there. That could be something. Wow.
Scott, thanks for stopping by. Lisa,
my pleasure.
You too.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very, very much.
We'll see you over at Empire.
Scott and Lisa Fybush from Fybush.com. And there we go. Chris, I don't know here, would you like me to hold the light for a minute?
Hang on.
You know, I just can't believe that Kirk...
Hold the light. I'm going to take care of something.
Okay, I'm going to hold the light. Oh, gosh, that's bright. Woo! It's almost Halloween, isn't it? I'm in the way of the official camera guy who is going to be shooting the Empire State Building as the colors light up. Did you bring some tape? You think it'll tape to that? Tell you what, before we run completely out of time, let's talk about our final sponsor, and that's Axia. We'll talk about the Axia Fusion console, and then we'll be ready. Then we're going to get a picture made here? How about that? Then we'll be ready for the big thing at the Empire State Building. So the Axia Radius console, that's the console that this show and every show on the GFQ network actually goes through. It's also the console that Leo Laporte uses on the TWiRT network when he's doing a show from his personal studio. It's an amazing, absolutely amazing little audio console. And here's what's even more amazing about it. It's audio over IP. It plugs right into an Axia network. Not only does it plug into an Axia network, it kind of is an Axia network, because on the back of the core unit, that's the part that goes in the rack, that's got the audio inputs and outputs on it. Microphone inputs and line inputs and line outputs, an AES input and output. Whether you pick the Core 16 or the Core 32, They have different numbers of audio inputs and outputs. Either one, both of them have an Ethernet switch built into it. And this Ethernet switch is not just any one, it's specially qualified to do Axia without any further configuration. Sure, you could use a Cisco switch, and a lot of Axia setups have a Cisco switch, and you need to specially configure that switch. Well, the switch that's built into the Core 16 or the Core 32 for the Radius console, it's already configured. Just plug your stuff in. Plug in, say, a VSET telephone and control a Telos phone system. Or plug in an Omnia 1 audio processor and just feed your audio straight to it with that. Or plug in a profanity delay from our friends at 25.7, and bam, you're one cable and you're plugged in. And you have remote control of it too, GPIO control over the same cable. So any Axia device, any Axia LiveWire enabled device, you can plug into the switch on the back of a Core for the Radius console. In fact, you could daisy chain a few Core consoles together. If you want to have a bunch of them, then you get a Cisco switch to hook them all together, and you can have 5 studios, 8 studios, 10 studios. Not a problem at all. I just love this console. It is it's cute, yes. It's expandable, yes. You get the Core 16, the Core 32, whichever size makes sense for your number of inputs and outputs, yes. And by the way, this is the same console that I have at my radio stations in American Samoa. And in our newsroom, we have the little brother or little sister called the RAC. The RAQ is in our newsroom. So it's really a very cool console. I can do nothing more than just encourage you to check it out. I would not do a console any other way than audio over IP. And I just love the Axia Radius console. Go to telosalliance.com, click on Axia, look at the Radius console. Of course, there's consoles of all different sizes there, from a huge Fusion console to an Element to an IQ to a Radius to a rack or a desk. Thanks a lot, Axia, for sponsoring This Week in Radio Tech. It's very much appreciated. And tonight, in just a few minutes, we got the big building thing going on. Hi, Chris.
Hello. Yes, big building time it is.
I want to thank you for taking care of our lighting. That's just awesome.
No problem. Always come prepared.
We'd be in the dark without it. What you got?
Well, we're talking history and the Alfred system and engineering and patents and technology, and I just happened to come across a document. It's a paper that was presented in 2012.
Okay.
Let's see. It was at the School of Electronic and Information Engineering in South China, University of Technology in China. It's the development of a broadband, horizontally polarized, omnidirectional planar antenna and its array for base stations. Now, that may be on the surface seem like nothing really special, but believe it or not, this article is talking about 2G, 3G, and Wi-Fi antennas for 2.4 gig.
Okay.
And as I'm reading through this document, I was trying to figure out why it came up as an Alfred. It turns out that in 1998, an Alfred loop antenna was patented for various configurations for compact antenna structures. That technology is what's being used to develop. I'll see if this shows up on the screen here. Probably not.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah.
There is a 2.4 omnidirectional loop antenna for Wi-Fi.
Wait a minute.
Based
Wait.
in part on an Alfred loop antenna technology.
Okay, look. If you take the antenna that's way up there on there, the Alfred antenna that's up there.
Yes.
And we've shown some pictures of it. They're available online.
Yes.
If you take that and miniaturize it.
In some respects, yes. You can say that the engineering technique, the RF design of the 16 or 32 FM dipoles at a 45-degree angle have been the genesis of a paper for a 2.4 gig loop antenna omnidirectional based on a patent from Andrew Alfred.
Wow.
Yeah, I just thought that'd be fun to talk about. It sort of brings the past to the future. Granted that Back to the Future and all that stuff happened last week. I said, why not? Let's have some fun.
What would that do for Wi-Fi? Just give you nice omnidirectional coverage with gain in all directions?
Yeah, it's a planar design, which means it's a substrate. So it's something that would be on a circuit board. So you're talking a miniaturization of an antenna for Wi-Fi.
So we don't need a miniature Empire State Building to do this.
No, the frequency is different.
We can do this on a circuit board.
Yes.
Here, let me put the camera back down. We'll point it back up there in just a couple minutes.
Welcome back.
Put this on a circuit board, and they can build this for nothing, for pennies.
Yes.
And have this design that's omnidirectional, and it works for Wi-Fi.
Right.
Okay.
So I just thought it was interesting to be able to look at it and go, Alfred loop antenna. By the way, the Alfred loop antenna from 1945 or 1950s is actually a balanced square antenna used by amateurs.
Really?
Yeah. So many technologies came out of what sits on top of the Empire State Building right now from the Alfred Engineering Company, from Andrew Alfred, a Russian immigrant.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting, the history of things. And, to talk to Tom Silliman at ERI to talk about how his dad and how he has a history with the Alfred engineering firm back in the World War Series time. It's like, wait a minute. He was talking submarines, Germans, and the Alfred antenna system on top of the Empire State Building. So the engineering or the technology that led to the master antenna system on top of Empire came out of engineering, testing, and working and development during World War II and German subs, and the fact they couldn't get close enough to figure out what was going on because the engineering was being done inland with ERI.
Yeah.
Think about the history, like, wait a minute. So you can sort of say the Empire State Building's master antenna system has its roots in World War II. It's coming time.
It is.
Here we go.
And so we'll close it out live from Midtown Manhattan. Kirk Harnack and Chris Tobin.
From high atop of the Monarch Rooftop Club, looking at the Empire State Building.
Oh my goodness, are they playing that? Oh, that's a great song. Oh,
well, it's a Scott Shannon special and Broadway Bill Lee. Why not?
Why not? That's right. Hey, thanks for joining us for This Week in Radio Tech. It's been a special edition from the Monarch Rooftop Bar and Lounge in Manhattan. And we're all going to the Empire State Building now.
Yeah, it's going to have some more fun.
Thanks to our sponsors, Lavo, Zipstream, and Axia and the Axia Radius Console for This Week in Radio, sponsoring us here on This Week in Radio Tech. Thanks to Suncast and also to Ender Zarian for producing our show. We'll see you next week on This Week in Radio Tech. Bye-bye, everybody.